Hey, friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to Ask WrestleJuice. Let's go ahead and dive into your questions. First up from Shotgun Sean says, in your opinion, will interest in WWE stay at its current level or go down now its biggest, most intriguing storylines have ended, with finally Roman's title reign coming to an end and Cody no longer chasing the title, with Rock going away, with Roman going away? I do appreciate that, as we saw on SmackDown, sort of the specter of the bloodline, this new sort of, vicious bloodline, probably bringing in Jacob Fatu already, with Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa beating the crap out of Jimmy. It sort of remains to be seen. I mean, ideally, no company, you're not going to want to rely on just one person, on one story, on one thing to float your company. And I think that's why they spent such a long time building up Cody Rhodes, because it's kind of on him now to carry the company. And to be honest with you, it's kind of on the stories to carry the company as well. They've been able to pop a lot of interest in a lot of these characters using WrestleMania. For example, Jade Cargill. The fans really seem to be into Jade Cargill and what they're doing with her and Bianca and Naomi. Rhea Ripley is a huge star, So I don't know, man. I feel like the proof is going to be in the pudding. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre still having their thing. Damian Priest, the new World Heavyweight Champion. I wasn't a huge fan of everything that didn't include Cody and The Rock on the Raw after Mania. I felt like the show kind of dragged, but we do have the draft coming up in a couple weeks. So the next 6 months or so, or leading up to, let's say, Money in the Bank, they really are going to be interesting to see if the momentum can continue with telling these stories with all these characters that will keep people interested. I'm a firm believer that as long as your weekly television remains good, as long as the stories are good, and as long as the characters are compelling, then you're going to have a really good shot at keeping the interest alive in your company. And then, for example, when a Saudi Arabia show comes and maybe Roman Reigns comes back or The Rock comes back or SummerSlam or whatever, you can use like your big four pay-per-views as, the big sort of anchors to keep interest alive. And hopefully people will stick around. Obviously, Netflix is going to put a lot into marketing their acquisition of WWE Raw come the end of the year. March. Is it March or is it Jan? I think it's January. I think it ends in October, and then they're going to pick it up in January. And I don't know what they're going to do between October and January. And they're working on that. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't know. I think that if it's my opinion, I feel like you'll see a little bit of waning interest because The Rock and Roman Reigns aren't there. The Rock is a big, big deal, and Roman Reigns is a big deal. So without them there, yes, I feel like it's possible interest will wane. But if you keep those stories going really strong, then, you should be able to keep some amount of people interested in your product. And ideally, use those new characters to like build them up even higher. So they could be like the big draw. I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's a long way of saying remains to be seen. In my opinion, I'd like to think that they've got a really good plan with their stories, and that's going to keep people involved. But the end of the day, having one of the biggest stars on the planet and The Rock in your company, being there week to week, that's going to bolster, that's going to help things. So I don't know. HMB21 says, how do you feel about the low attendance on AEW and Ring of Honor shows and with low ratings on Collision? Do you think it might get canceled? Because I don't think the rating helps along with low attendance. It just depends on like what the network, what Warner Brothers Discovery expects and wants. Let's be honest. Collision is in a dog shit time frame. It's a time slot rather. Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's not a good time slot. Rampage, the same thing. Friday night, nobody's watching on Friday nights. So if they're realistic with their expectations, then I see Collision probably being renewed. It's not the most compelling show in the world. It's basically just match. Ring of Honor is an entirely different thing. Ring of Honor is on like its own website. So like that's kind of a non-issue. I think they'll keep on doing that one because it brings in subs, I guess, to Honor Club. So I don't see that being canceled. The TV situation is a little bit different because it's sort of out of the hands of AEW. It's more of a collaboration between Warner Bros. Discovery and AEW. Maybe Warner Bros. Discovery is going to be like, hey, we just want Dynamite. We just want that, and we're going to pay you, I don't know, whatever they're making right now for it. I don't know. In terms of attendance, you got to get the buzz up on your product. I think the pay-per-view coming up looks amazing, and they're able to sell out their pay-per-views and their big events, but like the attendance on their weekly shows is just because like week to week, the shows are not that compelling. I think that they've been doing a better job, and if they keep up with that momentum on Dynamite, they'll be fine. Collision is just, it's a nothing show. They don't do anything interesting on Collision. They've got good wrestling matches, and that's it. So if they start running venues that are smaller, which I think they're doing now, then it's kind of a non-issue. Like the crowd, if you get 2,500 people into a venue that seats like 4,000, then I think you're doing okay. Then I think that looks okay on television. And your product looks okay. But like, there's no real buzz behind their product on like a weekly basis, the way there is with WWE. They just tell their stories in a different way that's not suited for weekly television. Clever username says, do you think AEW needs some sort of on-screen authority figure, like how Triple H is seen as the main dude in WWE, but there are still GMs for the kayfabe day-to-day? I don't know. I just don't know that's the direction AEW wants to go in. Like, they've got Tony Khan. It's always Tony Khan, and that's what it is. And they always refer to him. So I think having some sort of fake GM, it just doesn't seem like something that they're interested in. Could it help their stories? I don't really see how. The idea of a GM is kind of played out. I like how they do it on Raw and SmackDown because they're more personalities, but it's just more in keeping with the WWE thing. I don't really think AEW needs that. Zoe851 says, who do you think the next big AEW name to make the move to WWE is going to be? He says not Ricky Starks because he feels like a given. I don't know what Jericho's contract is like, but I kind of feel like Jericho is starting to feel that, or has been feeling, that the crowd is not responding to him the way they used to. So it would not surprise me to see Jericho, whenever his contract is up, go back to WWE at the very least for a Hall of Fame thing. Maybe, well, not as a general manager. I don't really see that happening. Maybe for one last run in WWE. I guess that's a possibility. But like, I kind of feel like he's done it all in AEW, and his time there is, I don't know, kind of spinning wheels. This whole thing with Hook, while kind of amusing in that it seems fairly self-aware of his reputation, I just don't know if it's befitting of a guy of his, I don't know, stature or one-time stature anyways. Go to WWE, that'd be probably a pretty big deal. I think a lot of people would like to see that. Mr. Sammy says, what's more impressive? Mox being WWE, AEW, and IWGP champion, Brock being WWE, UFC, and IWGP champion, or Kurt Angle being WWE, IWGP, and TNA champion? Okay, so can we take the TNA champion up there and put Olympic gold medalist on there? Because that's kind of the most impressive thing, in my opinion. I kind of feel like it goes Kurt because of the gold medal, Brock because of the UFC thing, and then Moxley because of all the companies thing. I mean, look, man, let's be completely honest. Let's be completely honest. And this is not meant as a slight to pro wrestlers. I think what they do is incredible and it's awesome. But pro wrestling is a scripted form of entertainment. So yes, while people proving themselves to be the draw that it takes, the wrestler that it takes, the promo that it takes to win the major championship in all three promotions, actually what Brock Lesnar did in UFC, that ain't easy, because it's like, it's like real competition. It's to a degree, look, it's apples and oranges, but come on, you're going to tell me that being an Olympic gold medalist, like that to me, like being an Olympic gold medalist as opposed to like being scripted to be an Olympic gold medalist, I mean, I'm not just being honest here. I think anybody who makes the Olympics, that's pretty damn impressive. And then to win gold medal with broken freaking neck, holy shit. Like that's holy shit level. It really is. You guys see Brock in the UFC? Oh my God, he was terrifying. So yeah, I kind of feel like the Olympic stuff and the UFC stuff, that's all super impressive stuff. Shotgun Sean says, should Cody's title reign last longer than a year If not, who would you like him to be beaten by? Oh man. Okay. So I've got two scenarios that I think would be perfect for Cody. And they're both bloodline related. So either Solo Sikoa cashing in Money in the Bank. Look, man, that Solo Sikoa turn on SmackDown rather. That was pretty cool. Him being the leader of a new sort of, evil bloodline. Oh, I think that's pretty good. So Cody losing to Solo Sikoa with the Money in the Bank, I kind of like that. Otherwise, it's the final boss. The Rock beats Cody, maybe at SummerSlam. Then Cody beats him at WrestleMania. I don't know, something like that. Should it last longer than a year? I'm not a fan of long title reigns, but the way they've been booking things, like they've actually mapped out their pay-per-view schedule really kind of expertly to make those title matches like sort of, premium, if you will. So should it last longer than a year? I'm not a fan of like really, really long title reigns anymore. I don't feel like it needs to. And I feel like if you want to keep Cody fresh, you take how about this? You keep the tradition of SummerSlam ending with a bad note. Cody loses to I don't know, maybe Solo Sikoa wins Money in the Bank for the final boss. He gives that Money in the Bank briefcase to The Rock. The Rock cashes it on Cody. And there you go. And The Rock is the champion. And then you do Reigns, the Usos, and Cody at Survivor Series against The Rock, Solo, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu at Survivor Series. Oh, I kind of like that. That's kind of good. Oh, I like this one. Frantic Games HD says, now that Jack Perry has heat from the Chicago fans, do you guys think that the All In tape helped? And we'll look back on it and say it was the right move for AEW. If that tape helped anybody, it's Jack Perry. I think that's a distinct possibility because the dude's like, look, I got sucker punched or pie-faced and I got put in a chokehold and then I got fired or I got suspended for 6 months and I had to go to New Japan. That's a scapegoat right there. So, yeah, I don't know. He's running with this whole thing. And he was boring as fuck before. Don't get me wrong. Jack, let's not get it twisted. Jack Perry was nowhere before. That heel turn of his was tepid stuff. And then he does the whole brawl in thing happens. Oh man, Cry Me a River. He's got it on the jacket now. Run with it, son. Run with it. Charlie Black says, if Jacob Fatu signs with WWE, do you see him going first to NXT and doing the whole WWE process or directly debuting on the main roster like Tama Tonga? I think Jacob Fatu is going to show up this Friday on SmackDown. That's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to be part of Solo's gang. It's going to be scary. Tina Arlott says, what's the worst finisher current WWE? For me, it's a Torpedo Moscow. Looks just stupid. Like Ilya's finisher? I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of it either. What's the worst finisher currently in WWE, though? Let's see here. I'm trying to go through a bunch of these. What is... Okay, I'll be honest with you guys. I've never been a fan of Roman's Superman Punch Spear combo. I feel like he should have an actual finisher. Because I don't like those. Which is it? Is it Superman Punch or the Spear? I think it's the Spear. But it's the Spear? Really? I don't know. Oh, but the real answer is A-Town Down. Nick says, what would be your solution to the overcrowded roster problem? Another brand, build more factions, let them wrestle in smaller promotions, use some as jobbers, or hoard them all and bench them. I don't know, but WWE's got a problem, man. I'm putting together a video for, I think, next Monday about, what is it? WrestleMania 41 predictions. Yeah, I'm doing it a year in advance. Predicting what the WrestleMania 41 card is going to look like. And here's the problem. They got a lot of people. They've got so many people. And elevating certain people, it's oh my God, everybody is in that rarefied air. There's too many people, but they're all being used pretty darn well. I don't know what they're going to do. What's the solution? You can't do another brand. More factions? Let them wrestle in other smaller promotions? How would that help anything? You know what I mean? I don't know. But I guess some sort of international brand? send a bunch of the roster to do the Europe thing. Do the NXT Europe. Call it WWE Europe. Main roster Europe. That's what they should do. But, how are you going to justify paying all those people if you're not going to have like a big TV deal? Maybe they can get a big TV deal over there. I don't know, but they got too many damn people. But you can't release people because that's kind of messed up. I don't want everybody to be out of jobs. With Fear Gaming says somebody on here said that fans will turn on Cody. Everybody's saying that. And they've been saying that for a while now. Nobody's turning on him. Using that as a base, what do you think WWE should do to make sure the fans don't turn on him? This is like a silly answer to a good question. It's an abstract situation. Just keep them interesting. And I'll be honest with you, have him drop the title at SummerSlam to The Rock, who is gifted Money in the Bank by Solo Sikoa. That's what you do, man. I'm sticking with that fantasy booking right now. I think it'd be great. Final Boss comes out. Nobody expects it. Like Solo Sikoa comes out after Cody Rhodes got his ass beat by, I don't know, Shinsuke Nakamura. And then Solo Sikoa comes out. Oh my God, he's gonna cash in, but he stops on the ramp, on the stage, and then Final Boss, level up, achieved or whatever. And then he comes out, he gets the briefcase from Solo Sikoa, goes down there, cashes in, people's elbow, one people's elbow on Cody Rhodes, and then he's new champion. I like it. Do it. Oh, wow. Cinema Love 09 says, you're stranded on an island eating nothing but Slim Jims and drinking nothing but Prime. Well, you can either only watch John Cena matches or only watch Randy Orton matches. That's easy. It's John Cena. John Cena had some matches that I really, really love. Randy Orton, not so much. Just off the top of my head, John Cena versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam 2016, I think. And then, obviously, the Money in the Bank 2011 match against CM Punk. Yeah, it'd be John Cena. He's had really good matches. Gorillamon541 says, Triple H says they're listening in certain aspects have shown that's a true statement, but when do you think they're going to hear our cries for actual good entrance music and fire Def Rebel? Man, I think that's easier said than done because Def Rebel, understands the system there, and finding somebody new would probably be really difficult to do. I don't know. They should just go to licensed music, to be honest with you. Be like, hey, who do you like? You like some Zeppelin? Well, they're too expensive. Is there another, can we do the other, what's that band called? Greta Von whatever, Fleet? Is that what that ain't right. That's Chris Van Fleet. Greta Van Fleet, that's who it is. I said Fleet. Can we get that band Chris Van Fleet? I don't know, man. Look, I know Def Rebel, they kind of suck. They've had their fair share of decent tracks. CFO $sign is great. But unless you can get them back, but I don't know, there's a weird publishing thing that they're can you just hire the people that were in CFO $sign? Can they break up and WWE hires them on employees and just have them do the music? There's got to be a way to get them to do it. Because Def Rebel just ain't it. They're kind of mid, but I don't know. It's probably really difficult to find people who can do entrance music. I don't know why I think that. I just do. Anyways, that's going to do it for Ask WrestleJuice. Thanks, everybody, for your questions. I appreciate it. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, the subscribe button, all that stuff. And then, of course, this weekend, me and Larson are going to be doing our Dynasty watch-along and review over at the Going in Raw channel. We'll have our predictions up at the Friendo Club Wrestling channel, so be sure to check out all that stuff. I will post, there's channel links on this page, on this YouTube channel page. There is a section that says other channels that Steve's on, and that's where I can be found. So check that stuff out.